So in today's lecture, we will be taking the first look at a uniformly varying load. So as you can see over here, this is an example of a uniformly varying load. What does a uniformly varying load means? It means that the load is increasing or decreasing in magnitude at a constant rate. Okay, see over here. Here, what is the magnitude? Here the magnitude is 0. Here the magnitude is W and it is changing at a constant rate, right? So the rate is constant. This is known as uniformly varying load. Till now, what have we seen? We have seen point loads and we have seen uniformly distributed loads, right? So see, for example, when this was a uniformly distributed load, right? Let us say this was a uniformly distributed load and its value was W kilonewton per meter and its length was L meters. Then what was the total load applied by this? Total load was W into L. What is basically W into L? W into L is basically the area of this, right? The area of this rectangle is W into L. Similar to that, in case of a uniformly varying load, right? This is my uniformly varying load. Here it is 0, here it is W. The total length is L. What will be the total load? Total load will be the area of this. Now what is this? This is a right angle triangle. What is the area of a right angle triangle? Area of rather of any triangle, half into base into height. So half into base into height. So it will be WL by 2. That will be the total load applied by this entire load, right? Now, in case of a uniformly varying load, if we consider this uniformly varying load as a point load for calculation purposes, what do we say? We say that the load is acting at the center, right? Why do we say the load is acting at the center? Because the center of gravity of a rectangle is at its center, right? Similarly, where is the center of gravity of a right angle triangle? The center of gravity of a right angle triangle is at a distance of L by 3 from the right angle. Okay, it is at a distance of L by 3 from the right angle or 2L by 3 from this 0. Okay, so these are two things that you have to keep in mind. What is the first thing? First thing is, what is the total load applied by a uniformly varying load? It is half into L into W. And where does it act? It acts at a distance of L by 3 from the maximum point. Okay, now similar to this, what will happen if, see, this is the entire uniformly varying load. Okay, this is the entire uniformly varying load. What if we want, what is the amount of load applied by the part which is to the left of X? Okay, we are only interested in this much load. How can we find out how much load this is? Right, this will be what? Half into base into height. So let us say that this distance is X. So we know the base, but what is the value of this height? How can we find out the value of this height? We can find out the value of this height from using the our trigonometry, right? See what is happening over here. I will draw. This is the complete uniformly varying load, and this is the uniformly varying load part that we are interested in. This is the remaining part of the triangle that we are not interested in. Okay, this distance is X. This complete distance is L. They have said that for this complete distance L, the complete weight is W. Then what is this value? How can we find out? We can use our simple trigonometry. We can say that tan theta will be same. This angle is same, no, for both the cases, right? This angle is same, theta theta. We can say tan theta is what? Opposite upon adjacent. So it is W upon L. So it will be what? Question mark upon X, right? So what will be the value of question mark? Question mark will be Wx upon L. So this is equal to Wx upon L, right? So what will be the total load applied? What is the total area? Half into base into height. So total load will be half into what is base? Base is X, and what is height? Height is Wx by L, right? So what is the total load applied? Total load applied is Wx square by 2L. And where is it acting? It is acting at a distance of, from, if we say from here, it is acting at a distance of 2x by 3, or else from here it is acting at a distance of x by 3, right? So these were the basic things that you should know before we go into solving any of these sums, right? So with these basics clear, let us look at this sum. Let us solve this a bit further. I will just copy and paste it over here. We will try to draw its SFD and BMD. Okay, we have to remember these basics. You have to remember these basics. Only then we can draw the SFD and BMD of this. Right. So before starting with SFD and BMD, we will need the reaction force at A and reaction force at B. Right. So what is the we will have to do summation Fy. Summation Fy is equal to 0. So reaction force at A plus reaction force at B minus what is the total load because of this, half into base into height is equal to 0. So Ra plus Rb is equal to WL by 2. So this is my equation number 1, right? Now I also need to do summation MA, right? I can do that. Summation MA is equal to what? I am considering point A. So all this entire uniformly distributed load, it is acting at what? It is acting at a distance of 2L by 3 from here, right? Or L by 3 from here. So I have to do 2L by 3. So all this load WL by 2 into 2L by 3, and it will be what? It will be negative plus what? RB into L. So this is what? Over here we are getting minus 2 will get cancelled. W L square by 3 plus RB into L is equal to 0. So solving this we will get RBL is equal to WL square by 3. L gets cancelled, L gets cancelled. So RB is equal to WL by 3. Now substituting this value over here, we will get RA is equal to WL by 2 minus RB, which is WL by 3. So from that we get WL by 6. So that is the value of RA. So we have found out the value of RA, we have found out the value of RB, right? Now we can put these equations together, right? Over here we have WL by 6, we have WL by 3, and here we have this uniformly varying load with magnitude W. Okay, right? Now if I have to draw the shear force diagram, how can I draw the shear force diagram? See, let us draw the shear force diagram. This is point A, this is point B. So shear force to the left of A will be 0. Shear force to the right of A will be what? Plus WL by 6. Shear force to the left of B will be what? WL by 6 minus half into base into height, right? Because all this load has to be considered, this entire triangle also has to be considered to just the left of B. So that is equal to WL by 6 minus WL by 2, right? If we multiply both by 3, we will get minus 2 WL by 6, which is equal to minus WL by 3. So that is shear force to the left of B. What is shear force to the right of B? It is minus WL by 3 plus WL by 3, which is equal to 0, right? So we can draw it like this. Here it will be like this. Here it will be minus WL by 3. Here it will be WL by 6. And now to connect it, when it was point load in shear force, it was straight line. When it was uniformly distributed load in shear force, it was slant line. Now whenever it is uniformly varying load in shear force diagram, it is a cubic curve. So it is a parabolic curve. So over here we will draw a parabolic curve like this. Okay, and this point is the point where shear force is equal to 0. How can we find out the value of shear force equal to 0? Let us say that this distance is x. Okay, we can say that this distance is x. So how can we find out the value of x? We can say that shear force at x is equal to 0. So we have WL by 6 minus half into base into height. Now what is this height? Height over here we have just found out above, right? I told you we have found it out. Total load, sorry, this is the total load. What is the height? Height, I told you, height is Wx by L, right? That is the height. So I can substitute that over here. Height is Wx by L. So over here I get WL by 6 minus Wx square by 2L, right? And this is equal to 0. So I can equate this. How will it go? Wx square by 2L is equal to WL by 6. W will get cancelled, 2 will get cancelled, 6 becomes 3. So it becomes x square is equal to L square by 3. So x is equal to L by root 3. Right? This is the answer. X is equal to L by root 3. So this point is equal to L by root 3. Okay. Now, similar to this, we can do bending moment calculations also. What will be the bending moment calculations? See, bending moment calculations, because there is no moment, we just have to find out bending moment at A and bending moment at B. So bending moment at A will be 0. What will be bending moment at B? Now you just have to understand. See, to the left of A, there is no force. To the right of A also, there is no force. So bending moment at A is also going to be 0 and bending moment at B is also going to be 0. There is no doubt about that. But there will be some change in bending moment now because of all these forces. See what I am saying in this diagram, bending moment at A is also 0 because to the left there is nothing. Bending moment at B is also 0 because to the right there is nothing. But there must be some curve over here. Na? How is that curve going to look? That curve for whenever it was, see, I will just draw this table over here for you to understand. Here is SFT, here is BMD, and here is the load type. When the load type is point load, what happens in when there is no load between 2 points, when there is no load between 2 points, what happens in SFD? Straight line. What happens in BMD? Inclined line. When there is uniformly distributed load, here there is inclined line, here there is parabolic curve. Okay, parabolic. And when there is uniformly variable load, here we have parabolic and here we have cubic. Okay, while drawing there is no difference between parabolic and cubic. Okay, just draw it simply like a curve only. Okay, so we can draw that, but what will be the maximum value? There should be some maximum value, no? Where will the maximum value be? The maximum value will be, always remember, maximum value of bending moment is where? Maximum value of bending moment is at the point where shear force is equal to 0, right? Which means at this point. So how can we find out the maximum value of bending moment? Here B also is 0. How can we find out the maximum moment over here or bending moment over here? We can calculate like this. So let us say bending moment at X is equal to what? WL by 6 into X, which is what? Positive because it is sagging, minus what is the force? What will be the force? Half into base. Base is what? X into height. What was the height that we had calculated for question mark over here? Wx by L. So half into base into height, and it will act at how much distance? It will act at a distance from here. It will be x by 3, right? This is the entire thing, and this will be the maximum value of bending moment. Okay, so we can substitute the we can write this like this. What is the another thing that we know? What is the value of x that we have just calculated? X is what? L by root 3, right? So we can substitute L by root 3 in place of x. So it will be WL by 6 into L by root 3 minus half into L by root 3 into W by L into L by root 3 into L by 3 root 3, right? So what is going to happen over here? We get WL square by 6 root 3 minus we have WL cube by 2 into 3, 6 into 3 into root 3 into L. 1 L will get cancelled. Here we get L square, right? Over here also what we can do, we can write WL square by 6 root 3 minus, we can take WL square by 6 root 3 common, and here we get 1 by 3 into this, right? So what are we going to get? Here we are going to get 2 by 3 into WL square by 6 root 3. This gets cancelled, this becomes 3. It becomes WL square by 9 root 3. Okay, so this is the maximum value of bending moment. So that will be over here. So this will be a cubic curve, right? And what will be the value? WL square by 9 root 3. Okay, so this is how you have to solve. See, in this question, because of all the W, L and X, it might seem a bit complicated, but when we substitute values in W, L and X, it will become easier to understand. Okay, but in exam, it is possible that a sum like this can also come. So you have to understand how we did each and every step. I agree this is a bit complicated, but if you go through this again, if you like, you can go through the video again or do these calculations on your own. Very simple calculations. You will definitely understand this entire concept.